Chosen one, this message has reached you at the exact moment you needed it, not by accident and not by coincidence. This is divine timing. You are guided here because the door to your final exit is open and something within you is being stirred to move. There's a greater life ahead, but only if you're bold enough to walk through. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life where everything shifts, not slowly, but suddenly. That moment is now. This isn't just another motivational message. This is a divine alert. You're standing at the edge of something that could change everything, your peace, your purpose, your future. But there's a door, and this door doesn't stay open forever. This is your final exit from everything that's been draining you, delaying you, and deceiving you. Only a few will see it. Even fewer will walk through it. But if you do, your entire life will realign. In this message, we'll break down what this final exit looks like and how to recognize it before it closes. There are 7 chapters, each revealing a sign, a shift, and a challenge tied to this door. Before we dive deep, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Because this message isn't just content, it's a divine confirmation meant for the chosen ones. If your spirit feels this frequency, type 77 in the comments right now. That number isn't random. It's a sacred code, a signal to the Most High and the universe that you're aligned, awake, and ready to receive what's already yours by divine right. Not everyone will make it to the end. Only the truly chosen and those who stay will gain clarity, activate deeper awareness, and unlock the hidden blessings encoded in every word of this message. This isn't something you listen to once. It's a living truth that unfolds layer by layer. Re-watch it as many times as your soul calls for, because with each listen, you'll catch a new revelation, a divine key you may have overlooked the first time. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The exit always shows up after pressure. Before elevation comes pressure. Not the kind that just inconveniences you, but the kind that presses against your very spirit, the kind that wakes you up at night, wondering why everything feels off, why things that once flowed now feel blocked, why you're surrounded by tension, misunderstandings, and misalignment. It's not random, it's not punishment, it's preparation. You've been feeling the weight lately. Conversations that used to energize you now drain you. People you once felt connected to now feel distant or unfamiliar. Doors that used to open with ease now slam shut. And no matter how much you try to push through, something within you knows you can't stay here much longer. That discomfort you're feeling, it's not just stress, it's divine pressure. Heaven is applying it with precision, not to harm you, but to loosen you from what's been holding you. This pressure comes when your spirit is being prepared to exit the old and enter the new. It's spiritual labor pains. The contractions are increasing because something in you is about to be born. The environment around you is tightening, not because you're losing, but because you're being launched. And the enemy knows it. That's why the attacks have increased. That's why the confusion has gotten louder. That's why you've been tempted to retreat back into old habits, old mindsets, and old versions of yourself. Because the enemy wants you to stay stuck at the door. He knows that once you walk through this final exit, you'll no longer be accessible to the things that used to control you. You'll be walking in a new level of clarity, peace, and power, and that terrifies him. So hear this clearly. The pressure is not your prison. It's your passageway. It's not meant to destroy you. It's meant to deliver you. You've outgrown this current space, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. What once was a blessing has become too small. You were never meant to shrink to fit your surroundings. You were meant to stretch into your calling. This is why your usual coping methods don't work anymore. The distractions don't numb it. The temporary escapes no longer satisfy. Even the people who used to understand you now feel like strangers. That's because your spirit is detaching from what's expired. You're being prepared for a higher place, a more authentic version of yourself, a clearer path, a divine alignment you didn't even know you needed. That tightness in your life, That's heaven's alarm clock ringing in your soul. It's not telling you to panic, it's telling you to move. Move toward the new, move toward the door, move toward the unfamiliar that carries your freedom. The pressure isn't here to break you, it's here to push you through the exit. Chapter 2. Familiarity is the trap. The final exit doesn't always come with flashing lights or crystal clear signs. It doesn't always feel like a breakthrough. In fact, it often feels like a breakdown. It feels like being pulled away from everything you've ever known. That's why so many people miss it, because the door to destiny rarely looks like what we expected. It looks uncomfortable. It feels risky. It calls you out of your rhythm, your routine, your comfort zone. But here's the truth. What's familiar isn't always what's right. As human beings, we're wired to seek stability. We cling to the familiar because it gives us the illusion of control. But for chosen ones, that's not where growth happens. Familiarity becomes a trap when it keeps you bound to who you used to be, when it convinces you to settle for less than what God has for you, when it makes you loyal to environments that are slowly draining your light. The enemy knows this. He doesn't have to destroy you if he can distract you with comfort. If he can keep you committed to cycles you've outgrown, you'll never step into the future you were created for. He'll whisper, "It's not that bad," or "At least you know what to expect," or "What if the next thing doesn't work out?" But chosen one, your spirit knows better. You weren't born to play it safe. You weren't born to repeat the same lessons year after year. You were born to evolve, to break patterns, to walk in authority. But to do that, you have to let go of what feels safe but keeps you stuck. That might mean letting go of relationships that no longer feed your purpose. It might mean walking away from a career that brings stability but suffocates your soul. It might even mean shedding versions of yourself that were built in survival mode. The people pleaser, the perfectionist, the overthinker, the one who kept peace at the expense of their own. This exit isn't just about changing your location. It's about transforming your identity. And yes, it's going to feel scary. It's going to feel uncertain. You may feel alone, but don't mistake solitude for separation. Heaven is with you in this. Growth will always ask something from you. It will ask you to trust the unknown more than the familiar. It will ask you to move forward without having all the answers. It will ask you to believe that what's ahead is greater than what's behind, even when your feelings haven't caught up yet. You cannot carry dead weight into destiny. You can't take everything and everyone through this door. Some things were only meant to be part of your previous chapter, not your future story. The question isn't, will it be easy? The question is, will you be obedient enough to walk through the door, even if it costs your comfort? Familiarity is the trap that keeps most people circling the same mountain. But you were chosen to break free. You must understand, comfort isn't confirmation. Just because something feels familiar doesn't mean it's right for your future. Don't confuse emotional attachment with divine alignment. What served you in one season can silently sabotage you in the next. Don't be afraid to release what no longer reflects who you're becoming. This isn't abandonment, it's alignment. And alignment is the key that unlocks the exit. Let go so you can go forward. Chapter 3. Divine Disruption. Is the signal. Have things started falling apart out of nowhere? Relationships ending, opportunities drying up, doors closing that you were sure would open, people walking away, systems collapsing, plans unraveling no matter how hard you tried to hold them together. That's not bad luck. That's divine disruption. That's heaven stepping in and rearranging what you would have never let go of on your own. Divine disruption is God's mercy in motion. It doesn't always feel like it in the moment. In fact, it often feels like betrayal, heartbreak, or failure. But what looks like chaos in the natural is often perfect order in the spiritual. When God wants you to exit something, He'll begin to shake everything that's been keeping you bound. The people you used to rely on, suddenly distant. The place you used to thrive in, now draining. The plans you made, no longer working. Why? because God is making you uncomfortable enough to move. Sometimes we're so tied to our own expectations that we won't walk away until we're forced to. So God doesn't always give us a clear sign. Sometimes He gives us a shift, not because He's punishing you, but because He's positioning you. He's removing the crutches, the distractions, the false comforts. He's allowing the discomfort to awaken something deeper in you, the realization that you were never meant to stay where you are. The blessing isn't in what's falling apart, it's in what's being revealed, the fake support, the hidden motives, the shallow foundations, all exposed. Because if it can fall, it was never meant to be part of your future. And that's the grace of disruption. It separates what was temporary from what's eternal. It's the storm that clears the path. It's the fire that refines your focus. This exit isn't about escaping difficulty, it's about entering destiny. Sometimes God has to break your heart to open your eyes. Sometimes He'll shut the door you begged Him to open because He knows what's behind it will delay you, distract you, or destroy your purpose. What you thought was a setback is actually a shortcut, not to comfort, but to clarity, not to ease, but to elevation. And here's the truth many won't tell you. Disruption is one of the highest forms of divine communication. When God disrupts your plans, it's because He's ready to reveal His, and they're always better, higher, wiser, more aligned with who you were created to be. The pain of losing what's familiar will never compare to the peace of stepping into what's true. So don't fight the disruption. Don't cling to what's crumbling. Let it fall. Let it break. Let it shift. Because it's not just falling apart, it's falling into place. Divine disruption is often the only language loud enough to wake up a sleeping calling. God doesn't always shout. Sometimes He removes. He removes what no longer serves you so that your soul has room to hear again. What if the thing you're mourning was actually the thing holding you back? What if your unanswered prayers were God's protection in disguise? What if the storm wasn't sent to drown you, but to drive you to purpose? Chosen one, this isn't the end. It's the unraveling that leads to your becoming. Follow the disruption. It's not random. It's not cruel. It's the voice of God clearing the way for your final exit and your greatest. Chapter 4. This exit requires obedience, not logic. This door, this final exit, won't always make sense. It won't always be wrapped in a neat logical package. In fact, everything inside you may be screaming, "Why should I leave what I know for something that's uncertain?" You may feel like you're walking away from stability, security, and the familiar for something that feels undefined and unpredictable. The exit may not appear polished. It may seem unwise to the world around you. But that's the thing about divine assignments. They rarely fit into the neat boxes that society defines as reasonable or safe. You're not meant to live a life governed by logic alone. Faith doesn't always work in the realm of reason. Faith walks aren't predictable. They're powerful. The final exit will challenge your mind but awaken your spirit. It will disrupt your sense of security and push you into the unknown. But that's exactly where you'll meet God. This door will never be opened by intellect or careful planning alone. It's opened by trust. God may ask you to step away from relationships or situations that everyone else seems content with. People may not understand. They may question your decision to leave behind what looks stable and familiar. But, chosen one, that's exactly why you're leaving it behind. You are not everyone else. You are chosen. This is the turning point where you have to move, not based on what makes sense to your mind, but what your spirit knows to be true. The world will tell you to play it safe, to calculate every move, but faith doesn't ask for certainty. It asks for obedience. And when God tells you to move, He's not asking you to have the full blueprint, the map, or the complete picture. He's asking you to trust that what's on the other side of the door is more than you can imagine. Obedience means walking into the unknown, even when your logical mind screams for clarity. It means following divine instruction with confidence that God has already prepared everything you need. Faith requires us to step out even when we can't see the full journey. It's the movement that God blesses, not hesitation. Don't wait for the full blueprint. God is asking you to move, and in that movement, the clarity will come. There's something on the other side of that door that no amount of logical reasoning could prepare you for. You may not see it now, but it's been prepared just for you. It's a future that cannot be understood by your current perspective. The transition you're making is not just from one place to another, it's from one level of faith to the next. When you walk by logic, you move at your own pace. But when you move by obedience, you move in divine timing, in rhythm with God's perfect plan for your life. Let go of the need to understand everything. The moment you trust and obey, you will discover that the journey was already written for you long before you could see it. And on the other side of this exit, you'll find something far beyond your wildest dreams, something greater than what logic could have prepared you for. Chapter 5. Resistance will increase right before breakthrough. As you prepare to walk through this door, don't be surprised if the resistance intensifies. It may feel like everything is fighting against you. Old habits will resurface, doubts will whisper louder, and the very things you've worked so hard to leave behind will try to pull you back. People will question your decisions. You might even second-guess yourself. But let me remind you, this is not failure. This is friction. This is the enemy's final attempt to stop you from stepping into your destiny. You see, the closer you get to the breakthrough, the harder the resistance will be. It's as if the forces of opposition know exactly what's waiting for you on the other side of that door, and they'll stop at nothing to keep you from it. It's no coincidence that the moment you decide to break free from the old, the challenges seem to multiply. That's how the enemy works. He tries to distract, delay, and dishearten you. But here's the truth. The closer you get, the harder he fights. And that fight is not a sign of defeat, it's a sign of victory about to unfold. It's easy to mistake resistance for failure, to believe that the struggle means you've made the wrong choice or that you're not meant to walk through the door. But resistance is proof that you're on the right track. It's evidence that you're doing something that matters, something that will change your life and elevate you to a higher level. Think about it. Nothing of value comes easily. Breakthroughs require a battle. Growth demands that we push past our comfort zones and move through opposition. In this moment, when resistance is highest, you're being refined. Every distraction, every attack, every moment of doubt is designed to test your commitment and your resolve. The enemy is counting on you turning back, believing that it's too hard or that you're not capable. But chosen one, this is where you prove them wrong. The more resistance you feel, the closer you are to your breakthrough. The enemy wouldn't fight this hard if you weren't on the verge of something extraordinary. So stand firm. When the pressure increases, that's the moment to dig in your heels. Don't backtrack now. Don't allow the distractions to steer you off course. Remember, you're inches from the breakthrough. You're closer than you think. The door may seem farther away than before, but in reality, you're almost there. You've already come so far, and this resistance is only pushing you to strengthen your faith, to rise above, and to take your place. The key is to stay focused when everything is pulling you in different directions. When doubt is loud and overwhelming, keep your eyes fixed on the door ahead. Trust that what's on the other side is worth the fight. Don't let the friction fool you. It's a sign that you're on the verge of something magnificent. Keep pressing forward, even when it feels like the world is pushing back. Your breakthrough is waiting for you, and it's closer than you think. Chapter 6. Only the real you can walk through this door. This isn't a door you can fake your way through. It's not a door that will open for your mask or the version of yourself that you think others want to see. No, this door requires your authentic self, the healed you, the unapologetically honest you, the version of you that has shed the layers of people-pleasing, the crippling fear, and the fake facades. This door is not for who you used to be. It's for who you've become after walking through the fire, after facing your struggles and challenges, after embracing the process that refined you. Real elevation requires real identity. The person you used to be might have been comfortable, might have fit in with the crowd. But that version of you won't be able to walk through this door. This door is designed for the real you, the one who has stood firm, who has wrestled with their fears, who has gone through the storm and emerged stronger, wiser, and more connected to their purpose. The person you are becoming is who God always knew you could be. And this door is a manifestation of the growth and transformation you've experienced. Think about it. When God opens doors for us, He doesn't just open them for who we were. He opens them for who we are becoming. And who you are becoming is powerful. You are no longer the person who hides, who plays small, or who blends in. You are the person who stands boldly in their truth, unafraid to show up as who you really are. This season is about embracing the fullness of your identity, stepping into your divine purpose, and walking through that door with complete confidence in your worth and in what you've been through to get here. The door doesn't require perfection, but it does require authenticity. It's not about getting everything right. It's about being real. The real you is enough. The real you is worthy. The real you is who the world needs right now. This is the season to step fully into who God called you to be. Unapologetic, bold, and fearless. The world has been waiting for you to show up as the person you are meant to be. So stop holding back. Stop shrinking. Stop hiding. Step through that door as the person God created you to be and watch how your life transforms. This is a call to embrace your uniqueness, your strength, and your authentic power. The version of you that has walked through pain, heartache, and challenges is the one who will rise in victory. And that is the person who will walk through this door, the healed you, the confident you, the fearless you. That's who the world is waiting for. That's who God is calling to step through to the next level. Remember, this isn't the season to play it small. This is the season to embrace the fullness of who you are. God is calling you to step into your identity and to own your story, the good, the bad, and everything in between. When you walk through this door, let it be the boldest version of yourself, unapologetically real, aligned with your purpose, and fully confident in your worth. Only the real you can walk through this door, and when you do, you'll step into a life that's waiting to be claimed. Let go of the past, release the fear, and embrace who you are now, for that person is destined to walk through this door and into greatness. Chapter 7. This exit leads to purpose, not just peace. The final exit isn't just about escaping pain, it's about stepping into purpose. It's easy to think that the breakthrough is simply about finding peace or relief from struggles, but what you'll find is far more profound. It's not just about the absence of pain, but the presence of purpose. You're not walking through this door just to catch your breath. You're walking through to align with your divine calling, to step into a season of clarity, fulfillment, and destiny. Once you cross that threshold, you'll experience clarity that you didn't even know you needed. The pieces of your life will come together in ways that seemed impossible before. Relationships that were once fragmented or confusing will align effortlessly. You'll encounter people who support your journey and push you further into your purpose. There won't be a need to force connections or fight for validation. Everything will find its place. But it's not just people who will align. Opportunities will too. Doors that seemed sealed shut will open effortlessly. Dreams once out of reach will suddenly be within your grasp. It's not because you've struggled more, but because you've entered the right position. When you walk through this door, you stop chasing and start aligning. Your energy shifts from pushing to allowing, and in that flow, life becomes less of a struggle and more of a dance with purpose. Ideas will begin to spark. Creativity, insight, and divine inspiration will flood your mind. The fog will lift, and what once seemed uncertain will become clear. Your spirit will settle into a peace that goes beyond comfort. This peace isn't passive, it's active, guiding you toward your calling. You'll feel God leading you into spaces where you can be most impactful. The reason for all of this is simple. You're in position now. You're no longer trying to figure things out by your own strength. You've surrendered your striving, and now you're aligned with God's plan. From this place, everything begins to flow. Your purpose unfolds, and every step you take will be guided by a divine force greater than yourself. This final exit doesn't just lead to personal peace. It leads to divine partnerships, kingdom assignments, and generational blessings. You didn't walk through the door just for your benefit. What's on the other side is for the generations that will come after you. Your breakthrough isn't just for today, it's for the future, leaving a legacy of purpose. The impact, the work, will ripple outward, touching lives in ways you may not even comprehend right now. You didn't come this far to turn around. You didn't go through all that pain, struggle, and uncertainty just to quit before the next phase. This door changes everything. It's the transition from surviving to thriving, from wandering to walking in purpose. When you step through, you'll realize that everything you've endured prepared you for this moment. The moment when you step into the fullness of your calling. This exit isn't just an end. It's the beginning of something far greater. As you walk through this door, you step into a new chapter where everything aligns. Your purpose becomes clearer, and your life is guided by divine direction. You've walked through fire, and now you're walking into the fullness of God's promises. The final exit leads to purpose, and it's a purpose that will change not just your life, but the world around you.